else, talking about, because that's kind of an obstacle that you're talking about, and so I'm kind of jumping ahead to the 3 steps to failure.
Oh, the 3 steps to failure.
And talking about fear, because I know that's one of the obstacles, not the steps. The 3 steps to failure are distractions, addictions, and wrong actions, correct?
Yeah, the book is broken down into 2 sections. The first section is the want. You've got to understand the want. You know, in acting, I always use the want for actors. What is your want in the scene? What do you as the character
what is the
want?
Objective?
Yes, exactly. Now, the objective is a fine word. It doesn't work for me necessarily. I think it's too heady. It's too, where want is raw and visceral. Because we want something every single day.
Or minute.
I want to kiss you. I want to leave. I want to make love. I want to read this book. I want to eat. Exactly, exactly. We don't say my objective is to make love or my objective is to, you know, we say I want, I want, I want. And so it starts with that, and from knowing and understanding your want, you lead into the talent, the confidence, and the perseverance. Those are the 3 steps to success. Now in section 2, with every want, there is an obstacle. And there has to be. Otherwise, if we didn't have any obstacles, there would be no tension. So with every want, there's an obstacle. And it's overcoming those obstacles that enrich you as a person. And one of the obstacles, well, the main obstacle is fear. And fear manifests into the 3 steps to failure, which are, as you said, addictions, distractions, wrong actions. So fear is really is really difficult for actors to. I've broken down fear into the fear of failure and the fear of success. The problem with fear is human. We all fear. It's a natural thing that we do. And fear comes from, some of us were born with a little more fear than others, but mostly fear comes from our upbringing. And the thing with fear is
what do you mean? Comes from our upbringing?
Well, how our parents, teachers, friends, that's where most of our fear is informed, you know, what we're brought up with. And that's where a lot of our fear comes from.
Because our parents try to make us afraid?
No, I think that because
we're afraid of our parents.
Oh, no, I think because some parents didn't teach us to overcome our fears. I don't want to go and play over there, and we're not told to be encouraged to go and do that. So it's okay, don't worry about doing it. So some of us were taught fear. If you go and do that, it's going to be bad. And so we're brought up to have this fear. We all have fear about everything. We all have a moment of fear. You know, even just sitting here talking to you before the camera goes on, there's a fear that happens. But the thing about fear is that you need to experience fear. And a lot of times actors don't experience the fear. They will run away from the fear. You need to experience the fear, then work through the fear, overcome it. It's like jumping out of a...
Okay, can I ask
you?
Sure. Experience, what do you mean experience the fear? I mean...
Let's say you're going to go skydiving. That is something I would never do. I take a lot of risks in my life. Skydiving wouldn't be one of them. But it's something you always wanted to do. You want to feel that thrill. So right before you jump, you will feel a feeling of fear. What will happen? The fear of I will hurt myself, or just the fear of the unknown. And you have a choice right then and there. Do you jump or not jump? What I mean by experiencing is that you let the experience happen. I am fearful. I am fearful about jumping. You let it, because fear is not a fact. It's not. In other words, I'm fearful if I jump, I'm going to break my leg. That's not a fact. So fear is something that you have, and if you say I'm not going to jump because I'm going to break my leg when I land, then you will make it a fact. So you say you experience it. You talk it through. You say it out loud. I'm fearful of jumping, and then you not only experience but you jump. And by jumping, you're starting to overcome it. And when you land, you have completely overcome it, and you've done it. And that same thing that actors feel about the business. From going into an audition, to going into an agent's meeting, to going into acting class, they have this fear. And some of them fear that they'll either fall on their face, and if they fall on their face, then they will experience humiliation or abandonment. And others feel that if they succeed, that the spotlight will be shined on them more and the expectations will be stronger and higher, and they'll have to always do their best on a continual basis. And that fear stops an actor from going forward. That fear will make you procrastinate, will make you late. That fear will develop and manifest into many of the wrong actions that I have. And actors experience that. Even if you're in an acting class, and I've seen this a lot, you go to acting class and you go every week and you go every week and you're doing well. Then all of a sudden something happens. You know, the actor starts to be late. The actor doesn't come to class. The actor stops taking class, and you go, why? Why is that happening? Sometimes the actor feels like the fear starts to set in. Well, if I'm doing really well, that means I need to go get an agent. And if I go get an agent, what will that mean? That means I have to put myself out there more. That means I'm going to have to work harder. You know, actors are fearful of working really, really hard. I mean, 12-hour-a-day hard. That's what actors need to do.
They're afraid of that?
Yeah, because they'll be overwhelmed. If they weren't afraid, more and more would do it. More and more would not be sitting home, talking on the phone, doing things that have nothing to do with their career. They would be, you know, there's 24 hours in a day. 8 hours I'll give you to sleep, right? I'll give you another 4 hours for fun and relaxation. That's 12 hours a day times 7 that you can do something for not only your craft, but also your career. If that means getting a survival job or 2 survival jobs, if that means taking acting classes, if that means getting together with other actors, putting out your headshots, getting your demo reel, shooting a demo reel, there is a lot we're learning monologues. You know, it's interesting because it seems like we're back again with agents and managers wanting monologues. So you need to have 2 monologues. I just sent an actor in, and the agent, big manager, liked this actor, said, I liked your monologues, can you come back and bring me 2 more as soon as you can? I just want to see something else. And that actor has to go and do that. I mean, this is what actors need to be doing, but they don't do it. See, the thing is this. The reason they don't do it, the reason they'll say they won't do it, is because they'll say, I'm lazy. I'm lazy. But if they're not lazy, they're just fearful. That's the whole thing. There's no lazy actors. There's just fearful actors. They feel like if they
Is that why so few are successful?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and I think that's one of the big reasons. I think fear is a huge reason for anyone in life and doing anything they want to do. You look at the people who are really, really successful, they're hard workers. They work long hours, 12, 14 hours a day, work. The problem with actors, and one of the reasons I wrote the book, is because actors aren't like lawyers or doctors or even accountants. They don't have this, you know, you go to a 4-year program and then you go to a 4-year grad and then you get your clerkship and then you get an internship, and this is how it goes. This is the program. This is the plan. Actors don't have that. So they're left to be undisciplined. They're left to kind of figure it out for themselves. They know they need to go to acting class, some of them do, and they know they need to be doing other things, but the idea of this book was to go, here's what you need to do, and that's in the perseverance section. Here is what you need to be doing, and you'll know if you do that and you keep doing that, then you can guarantee that you'll be successful. But if you don't do it, then, you know.
So the fear of failure and the fear of success are
the internal. They're kind of they're the same thing of the internal struggle. They're kind of the flip side of each of them.
It seems like the fear of failure would drive you, like it did Jason, to work on that because he felt like he was failing in that monologue, and so he was.
Oh, I think fear is a great can be a great drive. Absolutely, but you have to experience it. Using Jason as an example, he said, "This is how I feel. I'm not going to fail on this, and I don't want to be a failure. I don't want to be that. I know I believe in myself. I know I have the confidence to be good. I'm not going to run away from this." Most actors would run away from it and maybe put it off.
And that he had to petition the teacher to let him do it.
Because he believed in himself. He believed in himself. Confidence.
Confidence.
Yeah.
And you talk about confidence and the 3 steps to success, and you even have a scale of how people can figure out.
In each of the chapters, talent, confidence, and perseverance, I've broken it down to a talent scale, a confidence scale, and a perseverance.
The scale is kind of an exercise.
Yeah, from 1 to 3, to rate yourself from 1 to 3, from the time you were born to present day. Of where you're, what you came into this world. One of the things I believe in is that talent is innate. We should probably talk a little about that, because this is the most controversial, provocative of the book. Is that I don't believe that. I believe that actors have to have an innate ability to act in order to be actors, in order to be successful. In other words, you need to be born with an innate ability to act. And I call that your acting gene. And some people feel like, oh, that's BS. You don't need talent in this business. Look at all these untalented people working. And I disagree with that.
I do too.
I think that there are definitely some people who have gotten booked movies that didn't have much talent. But if you want to have a career that has longevity, you need to have talent. And talent is first is something innate. You are born with your talent. And that's not just, acting. I mean, if we use American Idol, in the audition portion of American Idol, we see all these everyday people coming in auditioning and trying to sing, thinking that they're singers. And they just have no innate ability to sing. If there's an acting gene, there's probably a singing gene. I mean, there's no support, no practice, no harsh criticism from Simon Cowell ever make these people singers, because they just can't sing. And in this case, practice will not make perfect. But if you do have an innate ability to act, and that's one of the things the scale will help you figure out as well, is you have a choice then what to do with it. Because I believe that if you are born with a talent like acting, that it's a gift, that you have a gift. But
doesn't it drive you?
Yes, I think that hopefully that gift is your calling. And this is something you need to do. But I also believe in choice. I believe that you can acknowledge, you can say, I acknowledge that I have a gift to act, to sing, to dance, to paint, but I choose not to use that as a career. Because we know people who are just wonderful painters, who are wonderful singers or actors, our parents, our brothers and sisters, but for whatever reason, they chose not to pursue that as a career. But if you do choose to take your gift as such, as acting gift, and use it as a career, then you're accountable and responsible for working that gift, meaning that you need to study. That it's a craft. Acting is a craft. You need to study and practice, practice, practice. And that's where a lot of actors go wrong. Yes, they come into LA and they have an innate ability to act, that raw talent, it's incredible. But unless that they work on that talent, unless they work at it all the time, I always consider actors like sports figures. I don't really see much difference between Tiger Woods and Daniel Day-Lewis. I think they both were born with a certain amount of talent. They had to grow to have confidence about themselves, because you are born with a certain amount of confidence, but confidence is learned, and then they had to persevere. And those are two people who persevered, who work at their craft on a continual basis. So, when you come to town, when you come to LA, or even if you're in New York, and if you're not working at your craft, then how are you supposed to have a career? Some people are